In a busy office, a young woman named Sarah listens to her colleagues talk about Game of Thrones. It's the topic of conversation every day, and Sarah feels left out because she has never watched it. "You haven't seen it?" they asked. Sarah explains that she started it but had to stop because there were too many inappropriate scenes. "Just skip those parts," they tell her. It's only in the beginning. Feeling the pressure, Sarah decides to watch the series again. At first, she skips the inappropriate scenes, thinking it won't harm her. But slowly her nerves begin to take over. Shaytan whispers, "It's okay, no one's watching. You can keep going." Before long, she stops skipping the bad scenes. Watching these scenes became a habit. And as she continues, Sarah begins searching for more shows and movies with similar inappropriate content. As Sarah continues down this path, she starts feeling a growing sense of guilt. Deep down, she knows this is wrong, but she tries to justify it. She tells herself, "I'm just watching something. It's not like I'm actually doing something sinful." She convinces herself it's not a big deal, but the guilt doesn't go away. One day, while watching a video by a scholar, Sarah learns something that shakes her to her core. The scholar explains that on the day of judgment, every part of our body will be accountable for what we did with it. Our eyes will testify about what they have seen. Watching inappropriate content, even if it seems harmless, brings her closer to zina. Allah's command is clear. We must not even approach zina or anything that might lead us to it. The scholar also mentioned the following verse from Surah An-Nisa. "And who is better in religion than one who submits his face to Allah?" The scholar explained that this verse encourages us to change the direction of our lives toward Allah, following the path of truth and goodness. It's about using our eyes to see what Allah wants us to see and avoiding what He has forbidden. This means not just avoiding inappropriate content, but also making sure that every action we take aligns with what Allah commands. That night, Sarah makes a promise to herself. She will no longer indulge in watching inappropriate content. Her eyes, like every other part of her body, are entrusted to her by Allah, and she will answer for what she allows them to see. Time passes, and Sarah feels confident in her resolve. After a year, one day, a new series comes out. It looks interesting, and she feels tempted to watch it. As she starts watching, the familiar bad scenes appear. But this time, Sarah remembers the lessons she has learned. She tries to skip the scenes, but then something stops her. Shaytan whispers, "It's okay, just a few seconds won't hurt." For a brief moment, Sarah feels weak. She almost gives in, but then the guilt hits her. She knows that even allowing her eyes to linger for a few seconds could lead her down the same path she walked before. She remembers how Shaytan led her astray in the past, and she doesn't want to go back. In that moment, Sarah makes a decision. She closes the screen and never looks back. Despite the series being her favorite, she realizes her iman is more important. She knows the power of her choices, and she chooses Allah over everything else. She thanks Allah for helping her resist temptation, for guiding her to the truth, and for giving her the strength to protect her faith. That night, Sarah prays and thanks Allah for saving her once again. We often think our nerves are strong, and that watching a little inappropriate content won't hurt. But we forget that Shaitan is always waiting for the right moment to weaken us. Even if we think we are in control, Shaitan can find a crack in our resolve and slip in. Before watching anything, ask yourself, is this more important than my faith? Am I willing to let Shaitan play with my mind and weaken my iman? By watching inappropriate content, we are helping to promote immorality. And this is something Allah has forbidden. This includes watching shows, movies, or even cartoons that has inappropriate scenes. Even small moments of immorality can have a lasting impact on our hearts, minds, and souls. Guard your eyes, guard your hearts, and protect your iman. Every choice we make has consequences, whether we realize it or not. Allah has given us the guidance we need to live a righteous life. Use your eyes to see what pleases Allah and avoid what He has forbidden. With each decision, you strengthen your connection with Allah. May Allah protect us from the temptations of Shaytan and guide us to make the right choices.